Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I'll be showing you how to make a one shoulder birthday dinner dress, the one you are seeing on your screen right now. So if this is something you would like to learn, make sure you watch this video to the end. My name is Victoria Essien, your favorite fashion design tutor. If you are watching this video and you are not yet subscribed to my channel, subscribe now and also give this video a thumbs up and share it to your friends. So the material I'll be using for this tutorial is plain crepe fabric. Here I have my plain crepe fabric, and then I have my organza fabric, my zipper, and then a bias. And other things you'll be needing is the basic sewing materials and tools. So I'll be using this pattern paper for drafting, so you'll be able to see clearly. So let's get into it. So I'll first of all mark my shoulder measurement divided by 2. I also mark my neck width. The neck width is not really important. I just want to use it as a guide to draw my shoulder slope. So from where I marked my shoulder measurement, I will go down by 1 inch to mark my shoulder slope. So from where my shoulder measurement stop, I'll mark 3 inches. You see that I extended my shoulder slope to this point. That's to make sure that it accommodates the 3 inches I want to mark here, because this dress is a off shoulder dress. That's the reason why I have to extend it by 3 inches. So from the shoulder, I'll mark my armhole measurement. My armhole measurement is my bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. I'll mark the same thing here to get a straight line. This line now will serve as my chest line. I'll go ahead and mark my under bust measurement, and I'll also mark my waistline. I'll draw straight lines. This is my chest line. This is my under bust line. And this is my waistline. I'll also mark my hip points. So from my waist measurement, I'll go down by 9 inches to mark my hip points. And then I'll mark my full length. This paper is not long enough to get to my full length, so I'm going to extend it when I'm cutting it out on my fabric. It's just a shortage of 2 inches, so I'm going to complete it on my fabric. So I'm using the full paper as my full length for now. So now I'll come to my chest line and enter my bust measurement divided by 4, and I'll add 1 inch allowance. So on my under bust line, I will mark my under bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch allowance. Then on my waistline, I will mark my waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch allowance. Then on my hip point, I'll mark my hip measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch allowance. Then on my full length, I'll mark the same hip measurement divided by 4 without the allowance. So that's to say I'll bring the same hip measurement I have here down to the hem line, and I will minus 1 inch. So I'm going to connect all the lines. Remember, I extended the shoulder measurement by 3 inches. So from that extension, I'm going to draw the armhole line to meet my actual bust measurement. That's on the chest line, I'll mark my bust measurement divided by 4 without any allowance. And I'm going to draw a armhole curve to meet that measurement there. Just make sure that there is a little curve here. It shouldn't be too sharp. So this is the actual shoulder measurement, and this here is the extension of the shoulder measurement. Now I'll come to the center front here and I'll mark how deep I want my neckline to be. That's the curve, the one shoulder curve that you are going to make, that is going to pass through your chest. How deep do you want it to be? If you want it to show, for your cleavage to show, you need to go um down up to the 8 inches or 7 inches. But I wouldn't want mine to really show, so I'm using 6 inches instead. So I just mark that point. The next thing I'll do is to cut this out. Just follow the line that I marked and cut it out. So after cutting it out, this is what I have. So to mark out the one shoulder, I'm going to open it up this way. And you can see now, this is the center front. This is the one side of the armhole and the second side of the armhole. I just want you to understand the way I'm keeping this pattern paper. Okay, so actually the cuff I'm using also did not even follow the marking that I made, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it that way. I prefer it that way. So I'm going to mark using a cuff from one side of the armhole down to the shoulder, the actual shoulder measurement that I mark. That's where the cuff is going to stop. So I'm going to draw it now. You can also use a straight ruler to draw this. So the curve starts from one part of the armhole straight down to the actual shoulder measurement I have. I did not cut out this shoulder line. So let me cut out this shoulder line now. The shoulder slope, I mean. Okay, so that's the shoulder slope. And then I'm going to cut out the one, I'm going to cut out that curve I made now. That you make address to be the one shoulder. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. This is what my pattern looks like after cutting it out. So I'm going to place it on my fabric this way and cut it out. And I will use this same pattern to cut out the back pattern. The back pattern has a zipper. So let me cut out the front pattern, then I'll show you how I'm going to use this pattern to cut out the back pattern. It is important to note that this dress do not have any form of dart, so it's advisable you use a stretchy fabric while making this dress. So this is my front pattern. The back pattern is going to have a zipper, so let's cut it together. For the back pattern, you are going to fold the fabric into two this way, and then you trim off the side and the shoulder slope. And then you come to the waistline. This is the waistline. You go in by 1/2 inch. That is going to come up to the chest line and then go down towards the hips, but it will not get to the hips, so it will be like 5 inches down. 6 inches, I like using 6 inches, it makes my butt sit well. So you are going to use a ruler. So I'm not cutting out this part yet, I'm not cutting out the neckline yet. I'm going to open up that zip area and cut off the dart I just created. That's to avoid zipper bulge. So the dart starts from the chest line deep down to the waistline, and from the waistline it goes out again. Before I open it up, I'm going to use my chalk to draw out this shape here. So before I cut out this curve, I'll bring in my front pattern and lay on it to make sure that the shoulder match, so that I will not have two different shoulders. So I'll place it with the right side facing each other to make sure that I'm actually cutting out the right shoulder for it. I use my chalk to draw the curve as a guide. And there is a allowance at the center back. That's why I have to draw it out to meet up the first one I draw earlier. So I'll cut this out now. So this is the back pattern. So let's start stitching it together. I'll start the stitching from the back pattern. So I'll first of all fix my zipper. I'm using invisible zipper for this. So I'm done fixing my invisible zipper, and you can see I use invisible zipper for this. So the next thing I'll do is to shape the gown. So to shape this gown, I'll place the front pattern on the back pattern with the right side facing each other. So I'll first of all stitch it at the shoulder point. After stitching the shoulder point, I'll shape the two side, and I'll bring it back. So I'm done shaping, and this is what I have here. So the next thing I will do is to turn the neckline with a bias. So this is where the bias comes in. I use this bias to turn the neckline. I believe we all know how to turn a neckline, how to use bias to turn a rough edge. So go ahead and turn it. Let me trim off this zipper. So I will start from this zipper side to turn it, and then I'll turn it round back to the zipper side. After turning the neckline, I'll go ahead and turn the armhole as well. Then when I'm done turning the armhole, I will fold the hem of my dress. I'll hem it and I'll bring it back. So I'm done turning. You can see my neckline, and the armhole. So this is it, and I also turn the hem line. I'll go ahead and iron this very well. I'll give it a good press, then we'll continue. So I'm done ironing my gown, and this is what we have now. It's time to add the organza to it. And here is my organza. Okay, I cut out 10 inches in width, and the length is like times 3 of my hip line. That's what I use as the length of this. So I cut 2 yards of this and I join it to get that length. Now to fix this, I'm going to mark on my gown. I'll start from the hem. From the hem of this, I have this organza here. I have only 4 pieces, but if you have enough, you can make it like 5 or 6. So I have only 4 pieces, so I'm making only 4 lines on this. So from the hem line, I will go up by 2 inches and mark. I'll use a ruler to draw. Then from that line, I'll go up again by 2 inches to mark another line. And another 2 inches again. I have 2 lines already, so I need one more line. So I have 3 lines here, and the hem of this will make it 4. Since I have just 4 of this organza, I suppose go up at least to my hip points, but I don't have enough of the organza. So maybe I will add it later. Suppose come up to the hip line. Maybe it's supposed to be like 5 lines. So one will be at the hem, another one where I mark the first line, then the second line and the third line, and that will be the 4 lines. I'll mark the same thing on the other side of the fabric, so I will have a straight line when stitching it. This is how to attach this organza. You are going to look for the midpoint of this organza. This is 10 inches. So when you fold it into two, you have 5 inches. So on this 5 inches, you are going to fold it this way and attach it on your dress. You are going to fold it into two and attach it. And you'll be making gathers as you are stitching it. You'll be gathering it, using your hand to gather it. So I'll take it to my sewing machine and I'll stitch it using my hand to gather it. You can open it up like this and place it this way and gather. It will come out very well. If you open it up, place it like this and you gather it while stitching, it will come out very fine. So I'll take it to my sewing machine and do like so. So I'm done attaching my organza fabric. You can see what it looks like. It's really beautiful. So now this is the point where you fix the second sleeve, the bit on the second sleeves. So this is the front and you can see the back. So to get to the point where you can start fixing, I'm going to use the zipper as a guide. So from the zipper, I'll measure 4 inches to the side and I'll mark it both on the front and the back at the same time. So that will serve as a guide for me to fix this beaded chain that I want to fix there. So I'll just fix it with 3 of them, maybe keep like half inch apart and fix it. And after fixing it, I'll wear it so you see the results. That will be the end of this tutorial. If you are still watching and you are yet to subscribe to this channel, please subscribe and hit that like button. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.